Hello everyone, welcome back to Taekook Diary, the only place where we discuss all the latest updates, sweet moments, and the hottest news from our absolute favorites. The final night of the spectacular BTS concert at King Baudouin Stadium in Brussels was completely filled with tens of thousands of devoted army members who eagerly traveled from countless countries around the globe. Ever since the early afternoon, the entire stadium area had rapidly become completely packed with enthusiastic fans proudly carrying glowing army bombs, beautifully designed banners, and thoughtful gifts lovingly prepared for all the members. Absolutely everyone present was eagerly anticipating this incredibly unforgettable closing night, fully convinced that it would ultimately become one of the most profoundly emotional and powerfully moving concerts throughout the entire duration of this massive, worldwide BTS tour. However, absolutely no one could have ever anticipated that the wonderfully memorable and deeply cherished moment of the entire evening would actually not even originate from a performance on the grand main stage whatsoever. Just exactly as they traditionally do during their spectacular live performances, the beloved BTS members joyfully began to walk all the way around the massive extended stage so that they could lovingly greet their dedicated fans from every single angle of the gigantic stadium. Both the charismatic Taehyung and the deeply talented Jungkook were vividly seen genuinely enjoying the electric atmosphere as they happily continued to wave their hands enthusiastically towards the thousands of screaming army members who were loudly chanting their beloved names with so much boundless energy. Right in the middle of this wonderfully joyous journey around the glowing stage, something undeniably captivating and incredibly magical suddenly occurred. Taehyung unexpectedly slowed down his energetic footsteps, looking exactly as if he had miraculously spotted something wonderfully unique hiding perfectly amidst the vast, shimmering ocean of adoring, beautiful concertgoers. A group of dedicated army members fortunate enough to be standing at the front row of the barricade were seen pointing towards a fan holding up a small but incredibly meaningful handwritten sign. Almost instantaneously, Taehyung's deeply attentive gaze was drawn straight toward that exact direction where the fans were pointing. Swiftly, his bright smile effortlessly transformed into something significantly wider, radiating an overwhelming sense of pure warmth and genuine love. Without displaying the slightest fraction of hesitation, he immediately lifted up his hand and lovingly waved a profoundly affectionate, heartwarming greeting directly at them. Meanwhile, the observant Jungkook, who was standing by his side, quickly followed the exact trajectory of his beloved bandmate's focused gaze to perfectly see what was miraculously unfolding right there in the middle of that exceptionally massive crowd on that truly spectacular and magical evening. The exact moment he realized who Taehyung was affectionately addressing, Jungkook instantly broke out into a remarkably wide, beautiful, and incredibly heartwarming smile. Without wasting a single second, he enthusiastically waved his hand high into the air while executing a gentle, highly respectful, and genuinely polite little bow forward. He perfectly utilized this incredibly profound gesture to showcase his utmost, sincere respect toward that truly special fan. This breathtakingly beautiful and genuinely heartwarming interaction actually transpired in a surprisingly fleeting span of time. In absolute reality, the deeply touching sequence of incredibly emotional events probably only lasted for a mere handful of short seconds. However, despite this astonishing brevity, the massive collective reaction from all the remarkably observant army members surrounding them instantly and quite dramatically transformed in the absolute best possible way imaginable. Deafening cheers completely filled the gigantic stadium area in a split second. A massive number of passionate fans joyfully joined in by excitedly clapping their hands and waving in the exact same direction. It was beautifully discovered later that the caring Taehyung and loving Jungkook were warmly greeting a tremendously special army member with Down syndrome who had happily come with their supportive family just to wonderfully witness the talented BTS perform live in absolute person. There was absolutely no different or strangely alienating treatment shown whatsoever during that exceptionally beautiful, incredibly touching moment. There was absolutely no forced, entirely artificial, or exaggerated attention being generated at all. There was simply an incredibly warm, genuine greeting exactly the same as the one they consistently give to every single one of their countless other devoted fans watching enthusiastically right there in the massive crowd. It was precisely this profound, remarkable simplicity that successfully managed to deeply touch the delicate hearts of a vast number of people all across the entire beautiful globe. There was absolutely not a single official broadcast camera that intentionally focused its recording lens to actively capture and continuously highlight that deeply emotional, truly magnificent, and heartwarming personal interaction on the massive stadium screens. In reality, the overwhelming majority of the thousands of incredibly excited people present actually only fully realized that this deeply touching and spectacularly beautiful event had miraculously occurred well after a wonderful variety of video clips lovingly recorded by dedicated fans began to widely circulate and spread across various massive social media platforms. Then, in a matter of mere, shockingly fast hours, that amazingly magical snippet understandably went entirely and phenomenally viral globally. That spectacularly beautiful and deeply moving video clip steadily began to be passionately shared far and wide all across popular major platforms like X, TikTok, Instagram, and even stretching into a stunning variety of beautifully knit and vast global army online communities located absolutely all over the entirety of this magnificent world. Many long-time, loyal viewers openly confessed to feeling overwhelmingly emotional immediately after discovering precisely who it was that the charming Taehyung and the wonderfully gentle Jungkook had so lovingly and sweetly greeted that magical night. Many passionately expressed that this undeniably flawless, profoundly pure, and beautifully simple moment successfully reminded them of the exact foundational reasons why they initially fell so deeply and profoundly in pure love with BTS in the first place. It is certainly not just about their stunning, world-class music, but their absolutely amazing attitude. The most significantly praised and endlessly highlighted aspect of this entire, incredibly magical, and remarkably beautiful interaction is the undeniably flawless, genuinely respectful, and beautifully pure way in which both the kind Taehyung and compassionate Jungkook chose to interact with and ultimately treat that wonderfully amazing and truly brilliant supporter. They absolutely did not show even a single, tiny hint of inappropriate or misplaced pity. They also absolutely did not attempt to wrongly utilize that extraordinarily brief, spontaneous, and genuine interaction just to artificially turn it into some sort of a completely massive, heavily publicized center of global attention. Instead, they simply treated that remarkable fan with the exact same immense, profound respect and deep love as the rest of the dedicated armies everywhere. For many people, this genuinely and profoundly represents the truest possible meaning of pure, real inclusivity. Down in the active and bustling digital comment sections of numerous massive social media applications scattered across the internet, countless thousands of profoundly moved and emotional army members rapidly began to bravely and beautifully share a massive multitude of their own deeply personal, intimate, and intensely heartwarming real-life experiences with absolute, complete strangers globally. Some beautifully shared that they actually had wonderful, deeply loved siblings or close family members who were proudly living incredibly full, beautiful lives with Down syndrome. There were also numerous deeply touched, loving parents who wonderfully possessed exceptionally bright, completely amazing, and spectacularly resilient children with a variety of unique, special needs. They admitted being wonderfully moved to tears seeing immense artists like BTS give deeply sincere, completely pure attention without any unjust discrimination whatsoever at all. In addition to all of those incredibly touching and profoundly personal stories being shared, an astonishingly large and continuously growing number of incredibly loyal, immensely dedicated, and beautifully supportive longtime fans also vividly and fondly recalled that this was absolutely, positively not the very first time that the amazingly wonderful members of BTS had so publicly and wonderfully showcased this exact type of profound, deeply genuine, and spectacularly heartwarming level of intense care and limitless compassion for their beautifully diverse, spectacularly vast audience. For many phenomenally successful, wildly record-breaking consecutive years, the talented members have been incredibly well known for consistently noticing quietly crying fans, warmly greeting excited little children, and diligently ensuring all sides get equal attention. Because of this, many truly felt Brussels perfectly reflected their genuinely incredible values. As a massive avalanche of profoundly spectacular, uniquely different, and breathtaking alternative recording angles captured beautifully by countless devices continuously emerged online, it vividly became exponentially and undeniably clearer how this beautiful interaction flawlessly unfolded. From several extraordinarily detailed, beautifully stunning, and high-definition video recordings captured by passionate, eagle-eyed fans, it is undeniably and absolutely evident that the remarkably observant and phenomenally kind Taehyung was indeed the absolute very first incredibly wonderful person to vividly notice the presence of the fan. A remarkably short, beautifully fleeting, and unbelievably precious moment later, the talented Jungkook effortlessly followed the exact direction of Taehyung's focused gaze and gave a polite bow and a genuinely warm smile. The moment was incredibly simple, yet its absolutely phenomenal global impact felt immensely and truly huge. In the absolute heart of an extraordinarily monumental, massive global stadium concert filled with brilliantly spectacular visual laser effects, unbelievably intricate and breathtakingly intense choreography, and undeniably legendary musical performances that thoroughly amazed absolutely every single lucky person in attendance, it was actually a remarkably simple, incredibly quiet, and profoundly gentle wave of a hand that miraculously became the unforgettable and cherished memory of the entire beautiful night. For incredibly many devoted and fiercely loyal ARMY members across the globe, this phenomenally beautiful, tremendously small, and overwhelmingly touching action completely proves that deep respect and pure attention definitely do not need huge stages or long speeches at all. Perhaps this is the exact core reason why their bond remains deeply and truly special today. Because despite immense success, they ensure fans are beautifully seen and accepted. What do you think about that sweet interaction between Taehyung, Jungkook, and the fan at the Brussels concert? Is this kind of sincere attention exactly why BTS is so loved by millions of ARMYs worldwide? Share your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting update about BTS and the K-pop world. See you in the next Taekook Diary video.